Conceived for Group 4 racing back in 1976, the 934 was Porsche's first turbocharged 911 that was purpose-built for racing. The 934 quickly evolved into the 934.5, which combined the 934 chassis in front with the engine, wheels, fenders, and wing of the 935. This week, Singer Vehicle Design announced their newest creation, the Porsche 911 reimagined by Singer DLS Turbo, which is a modern-day interpretation of the 934.5 based on the Porsche 964. But the story of the DLS Turbo begins much later than 1976. It begins in August of 2022, when Gunther Works fired a shot across Singer's bow with the incredible Project Tornado, a 700 horsepower twin-turbo 911 based on the Porsche 993 that features huge fender flares, a huge rear wing, and intakes and outlets covering the car from front to rear. Oh, and real quick, if you're enjoying this video or just like learning about new Porsches, click here to subscribe. The new DLS Turbo builds on Singer's incredible design and lightweight study, with many significant modifications, most notably the extreme and bulbous bodywork, which was directly inspired by the 934.5. The 3.8-liter air-cooled flat-six engine has also been reworked to accommodate twin turbochargers and electric wastegates that are fed by air-to-water intercoolers. The exhaust system has also received a complete redesign to go with the car's retro Group 4 theme. The updated engine revs to 9,000 RPM and produces 700 horsepower. The centerlock wheels are forged magnesium, 19 inches in the front and 20 in the rear. And because Singer Vehicle Design are the gods of air-cooled greatness, the DLS Turbo has a manual transmission and a manual transmission only. The DLS Turbo will be available in two versions, the high downforce track car and the low downforce road car. We'll take a look at the track car first. Up front we see a 934 inspired fascia that is packed with 5 separate intakes that channel cool air into the radiators and front brakes, and jutting out from the bottom of the fascia is an incredibly deep splitter that increases downforce and helps to control the flow of air beneath the car. Towards the back of the fascia there is an extractor vent that utilizes air pressure to draw heat away from the radiators. The marker lights and turn signals are incorporated into a sleek black strip that takes design cues from earlier 934s, and Singer even included the black plastic molding strip that was used to fill the gap between the fascia, hood, and front fenders on the first 934s. The fascia expands outward to line up with the incredibly wide fender arch extensions that incorporate a large outlet at the rear for venting the air pressure that is generated by the front wheels. The hood features an enormous gaping radiator vent and also a center fuel filler cap that sits flush with the bodywork. Huge box flares house the ultra-wide rear wheels and feature a large air intake in the front and a NACA-style intake on top, and integrated into the bottom molding are side exit exhaust tailpipes. Between the two protruding fenders are carbon fiber side skirts that help to reduce lift by preventing additional air from disrupting the flow beneath the car. The rear quarter window intakes are carried over from the original DLS, as are the center air channel in the roof and the spoiler above the rear window. The side view mirrors have been completely redesigned to minimize drag. The rear deck lid features airflow louvers and a huge adjustable wing that is nearly identical to that of the 934.5. From a design perspective, the rear of the car is no doubt the most impressive angle of the DLS Turbo. The squared-off shape of the rear wing is mimicked by the outline of the box flares that house the huge tunnel vents and flank the rear light bar and bumper. Additional heat vents can be found beneath the rear wing and on each side of the rear bumper. The squared-off look is completed by the enormous rear diffuser that channels air pressure out the back of the car and protrudes several inches behind the rear bumper. The DLS Turbo looks incredible, but I have to say it would have been really cool to see Singer go full 935 and give this car a slant nose with pop-up headlights. But I'm sure for a few $100,000 extra, they could probably make that happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of their clients actually requests this. Inside the DLS Turbo, the most obvious features are the retro lollipop seats inspired by the 935. The transmission tunnel is carried over from the original DLS, but the rest of the interior is fitted with new components and paneling that are brimming with 1970s racing design cues and help to create one of the most visually captivating interiors that a Porsche has ever had. Note the redesigned one-piece shifter that is smaller and lighter, and the manual window crank arms. When's the last time you saw a newly designed pair of window crank arms? The dash of the DLS Turbo features 5 redesigned gauges that provide additional information about the turbos and look absolutely stunning. Now, if the DLS Turbo track car is too extreme for you, and you would prefer something about 1% less extreme, the DLS Turbo road car is just what you're looking for. For the road car, Singer swapped out the huge raised rear wing for a ducktail spoiler. They gave it a more angled fascia that incorporates design cues from the impact bumper cars of the 70s and 80s in place of the extractor vents, and they replaced the 70s-inspired racing wheels with just as extreme-looking 14-spoke wheels. But for reasons I can't understand, instead of reducing the front splitter to counterbalance the lack of downforce that would have been generated by the rear wing, Singer actually extended the black plastic lip at the front of the splitter, which would no doubt create a serious imbalance in the downforce. Maybe this was just a mistake with the rendering, or maybe someone at Singer just said, "Screw it, it looks cool." The ducktail spoiler looks great, but the overall appearance of the road car is somewhat awkward, with the enormous gaping fenders and no rear wing to provide visual balance. But there will no doubt be plenty of people who love this look. And from an overhead perspective, the road car does look amazing, not that anyone will actually be able to see the car from this angle. Inside the road car, the only significant difference is the retro 911 style padding in the seat backs. It has not yet been announced just how many DLS Turbos Singer will build, but the number will most likely be 50 or less. And the price of the car, if you're lucky enough to get one, will be well over $1 million. And as of now, there are no actual photos of the DLS Turbo, but Singer plans to publicly unveil the car at the Goodwood Festival of Speed this July. Then it will make its North American debut at Monterey Car Week in August.
Now, if you're a fellow YouTuber or you just like making videos and you've ever wondered where I get all my great music from, I use a company called Epidemic Sound. They have an infinite amount of great music and sound effects that are all royalty-free. And best of all, I've got a link that will give you a free month trial of unlimited music and sound effects for your videos. And if you decide to use them after that, it's only $15 a month for unlimited royalty-free music and sound effects. You can get the free month trial by using the link in the description below. If you're a Porsche fan and want to keep up with the latest news, be sure to subscribe to this channel for the most comprehensive and up-to-date news on Porsche. And if you would like to support this channel and pick up some custom original Porsche merchandise for men, women, kids, pretty much anything, then check out my store, which is linked in the description below. Thanks for checking out this video, and for more original automotive content that you cannot find anywhere else, click here to subscribe. And if you're looking for great music for your videos, check out the Epidemic Sound link, which is also in the description below.